What's up everyone? So finally the Cold Flicker Strike that I have promised I will be doing and I have already tested it long enough and good enough is finally here. Okay, this build is so fast and so freaking awesome that sometimes I don't even know where I'm going. The experience is quite new and quite interesting for me, so somehow I'm still trying to get used to how fast this build actually moves. Alright, so yes, I will go through some of the clips of me mapping and bossing, and afterwards I will of course go through the POB for the skill trees, skill gems and items, and of course the leveling guides. Please see the leveling guides using the league starter from my PoE builds on my Google spreadsheet. Alright, so Flicker Strike, what is this build all about? Okay, this build is actually more towards the mapping experience. It has always been for mapping. Alright, it is actually not a really good bosser, but with the changes most recently via Flicker Strike, bossing has actually been made very simple and I wouldn't say a lot more easier, but it is better than before. Okay, so for mapping experience, this build has just nothing to say. It is like probably one of the very fast, or probably the fastest clearer in probably like the whole entire game. It goes so fast. The only downside is if you get good stuffs or items drop on the floor, you probably have to go backwards to click it and pick it up. But sometimes, you know, you go way too far and you gotta bounce back, leap slam all the way back to actually pick them up. Okay, bossing wise, like I mentioned, this build is actually slightly better in bossing than before, but still not the best experience. And the estimated cost of this build is around 54 to 55 divine. Okay, it's slightly more than 50 divine. There are some things that I've already tried to minimize and I feel that it's not worth it, but yes, the range is just like slightly around there. Okay, so what is this build good for to farm? I would say it is actually good for harvest and breach. Okay, there are some other stuff like maybe metamorph, blights is also okay. But for the rest of them, stuffs like expedition, legion, I feel you should try to avoid it. It is not undoable, but try to avoid it. Expedition, why? Is because there are a lot of modifiers or remnants that you are not able to do, such as no crit, can't inflict cold damage, what else, avoid elemental ailment and stuff like that. There is a lot. Okay, there's a lot. And legion is kind of like a wide clear mechanic, and this is something that Flicker Strike does not strive in. Okay, you do not want to do Flicker Strike in a very wide map. It is not really good. Okay, and Toxic Silver and Arthur is kind of like the best map to play with Flicker Strike. Okay, so now I will just give you some clips of me doing it. Alright, and here I'm going to show you a gameplay of me doing Flicker Strike on the Toxic Silver. Okay, so I think Toxic Silver is kind of like the best map for Flicker Strike because it's so narrow. You just need to press one button and you go all the way straight. Okay, so this is a map with Elva and Harvest, and I'm going to show you how it works, how it fares and stuff like that. Okay, let's just go. You see, it's so easy. I just need to click one button and it clears the whole entire thing, the entire area. Okay, so I'm going to take basic currency duplicate. Okay, definitely taking this. Okay, the reason why you don't want to do white maps for Flicker is because if you're gonna do on white maps, you are going to fly everywhere around the map. Okay, and it's not a very nice experience. So stuff like dunes is not going to be good. You are going to fly everywhere around the map, and I can tell you it's totally not nice at all. It's just bad. Okay, you see, oh, the Hunter buff makes me quicker. Okay, I need to open on the right, so I'll open it later. Yeah, this is also good. Elva temples are also good because it kind of clears the map in a square, you see, so it's very easy. Okay, harvest. So I'm gonna do harvest as well. Wild Thorns. Okay, let's go. Oh yeah, this is a no no compass, no compass harvest, so the life force will actually be quite sad. Usually I do it with compass, but I have forgotten to put it, so well, no choice. There you go. So easy. The damage is so high. Yeah, the damage is very high, but there are a lot of pros and cons on this build. The pros is, of course, high damage, high clear, very fast clear. But there is actually a very big downside for this build, okay? So the downside is if you want a really fast character, sorry, the good side is if you only want a very fast character, then of course Flicker is for you. But if you're actually going to do maps that need to collect a lot of items, then it is not so good, okay? You have to consistently go back and like backtrack towards your path and pick up the items, which is something that it might be annoying for some of you. Okay, I just use Flicker Strike and I'm gonna walk away. Look at the damage. Instantly one of them died. Considering that was a cold resistance monster also, right? Yeah, it's crazy, the damage of this build. It's just so fast that sometimes it is very hard to control as well. Final boss drops this. Okay, let's go with the final boss. I already have Ball Flicker. Let's just go there and Ball Flicker strike. Oh, we have another alpha. Let's do it first. Okay, go in, check. Q right, open bottom right. Okay. Alpha temples are also so delicious right now. Oh, I don't have the stone, the key yet. Oh, it's here. Can I open here? Never mind. Let's just open the other side later to be safe. Okay, we left here and we are done. Okay, I just need to open this door and get out. Okay, let's find the spider and kill him. Not so good. There you go. What? He didn't die. He didn't die. Oh my god. Was that reward altar buff so strong that he didn't die in one shot? Yeah, usually they will die in one shot. Okay, Ball Flicker Strike. It's the damage is really insane. Okay, let's go. Last one. No, that's the third one only. Yeah, I have the notes for it. So open Q right, open right. Okay, nice, easy. Okay, so oh yes, one more thing. Just remember this is kind of like the Vortex Awakened Hexstarch variant. So it is there for a purpose whereby if you have problems killing like those very tanky rare monsters, this is where it actually comes in handy. When you're actually flickering, you can just push your Vortex button and you actually apply the Hexstarch plus Bone Shield onto it. That way you can kill those very pesky, tanky rare monsters much easier and quicker. Okay? Like that is really the sole purpose of Vortex only. Otherwise, you can just keep pressing your right click. One button is enough. Okay, Q left. Actually, I think Q right. Yeah, I want to Q right. Let's go. Okay, and oh, I need to open. Yeah, I need to open here. Just nice. Alright. I have the other side left. Let's just go. The clear is so good, man, with this character. Sometimes it's a bit painful for the eyes. But that's what you get when you actually play a character that goes too fast. It feels good, okay? It really feels good sometimes when you are like just clearing things so fast. Especially with the new enhanced skill tree nodes for melee characters, that now you have a universal or inbuilt splash on the character. Oh my god, that's so scary. I need to leech. Where did I go? Where did I go? So easy. Oh, okay, we got another one. Wow, another what? We have another King Harbinger. Wow. Nice. Okay. And with this, we should be done with the rank. Let me take this first. Yup. And that's for Toxic Silver. You can see I basically just went one round into the map here. So I just went one round, go up to the boss, and then just walk back towards the portal area. It's like just literally a loop. Okay, and it's really nice for Flicker Strike because the pathways are extremely linear. Alright. It is also okay for Atoll to do it on Atoll, but Atoll there is two big areas there and sometimes you might encounter some issues. Alright, Atoll is fine as well. Alright, I'm gonna show you guys how this build fare against a Phoenix, okay? So yeah, I'm just gonna do the full entire map, so just let me run the map. You can see I can kill the boss like Phoenix really very fast. Okay, I'm not going to do any mechanic, I'm just going to go straight into it. Wow, there's so many doors. I'm lost. Okay, I don't remember there were so many doors in this map. Okay, just let me get to there. I have already vowed Flicker Strike, so I'm going to just save it straight for the boss. Okay, that's what you should do. Okay, so we are here. I'm just gonna open a portal first, just in case something horrible happens. Okay, opening a portal. And going in, just pop your totems. Rage Blood. Blood Rage, I mean. Okay, and just Vow Flicker. Oh. There you go. Okay, that was a little bit of an accident because the Flicker Strike actually moved towards the right side. But there you can see the damage is really a lot for Vow Flicker Strike. It's very insane. Okay, boss run. I'm gonna show you how this build fares against Eater of World. Okay, let's go. So when you pop all your flasks, you can just burst him down quickly, okay? Right, you skip. Oh, okay, this is the first one. This is a 50% Quan Eater of World. Okay, nice. So you are still able to tank him. Okay, it's actually pretty nice. He probably is going to go into second phase. Okay, there we go. He didn't even go into second phase. Damage is just insane. Of course, I didn't get any good items, but yeah, there you go. This is how it is, okay? The map mods are actually here. I have 50% Quan on this map. Okay, and a quick brief on the updated Google Sheet. So basically the POB has been updated. Once you go into this page, you can just scroll down slightly and you can see Flicker Strike, and this is the high budget I've updated recently. The POB, the paste bin is over here, so you can import it over to your own POB, and of course the trade links are over here, okay? So you can just go over it. Every single trade link is done over here. Of course, there are notes that you should take note of. Okay, please read it before you actually buy. And of course, take note of my crafting columns here if you want to craft them yourself. Okay. Do not ask me again how to craft. I've listed it down very clear cut over here what you need to do. This is very specific. I do not know how specific I can get if you don't understand this. Alright, but yes, anything else, please ask me over on the Discord. Try not to comment it below because I don't see the comments so often. Right, of course, if there is any links that is wrong or is not working or some other leaks for some other reason, please let me know. Alright. Okay, so for the leveling guides like I mentioned previously, you can actually follow the Poisonous Concoction for my Raider on the league start over here. Okay guys, so this is the POB for the Flicker Strike. Alright, I'm going to give you guys a quick glance through on the stats for this build. So we roughly have around 4.5k life. Okay, I try to keep it around there, but as long as I feel that as long as you have above 4k, you are actually good because there are other defenses for this build as well. Alright, so 4k for here, and of course we have slightly around 100 mana. This is more than enough to keep you from flickering all day long. Alright, And for defenses, we have nearly maximum physical damage reduction. Alright, I cannot get any higher than that. But of course, if you have more evasion, then it's going to give you more armor and then physical damage reduction as well. The reason why there is armor when I have evasion is because of iron reflexes over here, right, which I'll go through later on. And of course, we have max spell suppression, so 100% spell suppress, which is very good. Cap resistance, and our chaos resistance is not really very strong. So this is what I have built on POB. Of course, if you have other sources of chaos resistance, then it will be better than this 8% right here. Okay, speed modifiers, we are moving at 139%. This is with maximum frenzy charges, and this is really very fast, right? Okay, and this is the DPS. So DPS wise, we have 21 million full DPS on the Flicker Strike. Alright, now this is not exactly accurate. So when you are actually like flickering around, okay, let's remove this, cause we will not be popping the Ancestral War Chief or Protector, right? And we also will not be popping the Vortex debuff, correct? So no Vortex debuff, no Ancestral War Chief or Protector. We actually have about 11 million. Okay, this is like the mapping DPS. However, when you are fighting rare monsters, you will put down the totem and you will put down the Vortex debuff, which is going to give you 21 million DPS on rare, very tanky monsters or some unique monsters also, and even the boss map boss. Sorry. Okay. So yes, there is really nothing else very important that I would want to discuss over on the skill tree. Okay, there are various versions of skill tree, I mean various levels of the skill tree. So start at level 80. Level 80 is the bare minimum where you can actually play the build because of the levels and the item equipments, and then you can move on to level 90, 95, and I have one for level 100. Alright, so just one thing to take note over here is intuitive leap. Make sure that you actually take these two notes over here. Okay, I did not take Acuity because we already have 100% chance, so there is really no reason to, plus it doesn't really add a lot of damage. And yes, I basically took the 2 life notes over here, even though you don't really need to connect it. Okay, so this is just personal preference. Alright, you can remove the life notes over here and add it to somewhere else if you really want to. Okay, alright, so for the skill gems, the first one I want to go through is your 6-link Flicker Strike. So you can see that when you are going to enable Valve Flicker Strike, your DPS is going to be at the top of the roof. Okay, this is very strong. Okay, so question, what about Valve Flicker Strike and Flicker Strike? Do I take them together? The answer is actually yes. Okay, it might sound a bit weird, like how can I Valve Flicker Strike and Flicker Strike at the same time? So this DPS is not exactly accurate, but when you Valve Flicker Strike, as you can read here, you teleport to an enemy and hit them. You inflict the wound but no damage, but you only inflict the damage after you have completed the full entire how many hits is that? 25 hits of Valve Flicker Strike. Okay, so that is where it comes in, and after you have finished Valve Flicker Strike, you can still continue with Flicker Strike, and that's why I take both. However, if you do not want to take both, you just want to see Valve Flicker Strike, this is the DPS. It's really insane. Okay, and next up, linking with the Valve Flicker Strike, we have just a normal multi-strike. I don't expect you to use a Awaken multi-strike. It is very expensive, and in my own opinion, it is not worth it. Why? Let's just talk about DPS wise. Okay, DPS wise, let me show you. If I were to add in Awaken multi-strike, okay, look, the DPS increase is not exactly a lot. It's probably 2 million max, right? 2 million, I think so. Wait, just let me check. Yes, no, it's only 1 million. It's about, okay, sorry, it's about 2 million, nearly 2 million. Okay, if you feel this 2 million DPS is worth like your 25 div, then please by all means go and buy this Awaken multi-strike. Alright, but otherwise, for those players that are on a tight budget, multi-strike is more than enough. Okay, Ice Bite 2120 is more than enough. This is our bread and butter for the sources of cold flat damage. Okay, Awaken elemental damage for attacks so that we are immune to reflect, elemental reflect as well. and we are dealing a lot more damage with elemental damage. Okay, inspiration and awaken added cold damage. So some of you might be questioning why inspiration. Okay, the reason is if I do not add inspiration, okay, let me go over to Flicker Strike. Look, the mana cost will be very, very high, and you will not have enough mana to actually unleash the full potential of 1 second of Flicker Strike. Okay, because this is the mana cost per second, right? This is without inspiration. Okay, so if I were to remove inspiration and I put something that has more DPS, let's say ruthless, okay, or hypothermia, okay, maybe hypothermia, you can see we will have slightly more damage. Okay, maybe ruthless might be better. Okay, maybe ruthless. You can see we have a lot more DPS, but definitely we will not be able to sustain the mana. Okay, so that is why inspiration is over here, and of course the divergent 1, so that we are going to ensure that we have more than enough mana to execute everything. Flicker Strike, Vortex, mark on hit, your cast when damage taken, and of course your totems. Alright, I want to ensure that there are no mana problems, so that's why inspiration is there. And of course we are playing the elemental, the cold Flicker Strike, right? So having the additional crit strike chance plus the elemental damage is very good as well. Okay, and then our totem support is just a very simple double totem, your Vow, Ancestral War Chief, and Ancestral Protector. If you do not want Vow, Ancestral War Chief, you can actually go for the normal Ancestral War Chief also. It doesn't really matter, okay? It does not matter at all. Let me just tell you that upfront. Right, no problem. Ancestral Protector, try to get the Phantasma quality ones because you're gonna have more attack speed on it, and multiple totems so that you can put both War Chief and Protector at the same time. Okay, so for auras, we're gonna use for the mark on hit, we're gonna use Assassin's Mark. We basically have two curse. So one is Assassin's Mark, the other one is Frostbite, which is on our Vortex. Okay, and of course precision is needed. Cast when damage taken with Molten Shell because we're going to scale armor, so a lot of effective life over here. The next aura is just Grace and Hatred, that's all. Okay, simple, that's all. Whether or not you want to use Vow Grace is up to you, but we are very scarf for button pressing on our, on our character already. So let me just show you a quick one, okay? This is my character. You can see that I literally have no more slots available. Okay, this is just the normal walk. If you want to put Vortex on here, it's fine, but I cannot put it. So, due to my configurations and stuff, I cannot fix it. So, I cannot put it here. This is empty. This is Vow Flicker Strike. This is Flicker Strike. This is our Lip Slam. We are going to use it so often. Okay, and then you have your Vortex when you are fighting all of the rare or unique monsters. Okay. You have your Protector, and you have your Ancestral War Chief on E and R, and then of course your Blood Rage as well. That's why you see we do not have a lot of buttons left to press. So it's personally really up to you. If you want Vow Grace, you can probably go for the other button tabs. Okay, and next is our movement skill. So Lip Slam, faster attacks, and of course Blood Rage. Right? So this one is very interesting. I am going to talk about it here right now. You definitely need this on your gloves. Okay? On your glove, less duration. Why the heck do we need less duration on your gloves? This is basically for aspect of the cat. Okay, what does aspect of the cat do is basically gives you two kinds of buffs, which is cat stealth and cat's agility. Okay, I'm going to skip a little bit forward because I need to explain this. So because of Pharaoh's fur, you will gain up to, look at the red line of words, you will gain up to your maximum number of frenzy or power charge when you gain cat's stealth. So cat stealth and cat what is that? What was the other one? I can't remember the name. Cat agility, sorry. They are actually proc in between. I can't remember exactly how much. Hold on, let me do a very, very quick checkup. Okay, since I am here. Cat's aspect of the cat, right? Aspect of the cat. Okay, I cannot remember exactly the duration. Alright, so here, okay, so you see aspect of the cat, right? They have a base duration of 4 seconds. Okay, so every 4 seconds you are going to proc or activate in between cat stealth and cat's agility, right? So which means only after 8 seconds you are going to get the full count of power charge and frenzy charge. That is why with with less duration over here, there's 60% less duration, right? Your cat's agility and cat stealth is going to proc way more often, which is less than 2 seconds. Okay, which is less than 2 seconds, which means every less than 4 seconds or so, roughly around there, I'm not sure the exact amount, you are going to proc in between. Okay, so here is a very good example. Look here, see my cat stealth, I'm activating it so often. Look, it's just 3 seconds, and then there's another 3 seconds. It's not exactly 3 seconds, probably less than that. Look at the timer of the 0.03, it goes down very fast. So you can see I have nearly full uptime on, actually I have full uptime on the power charges, and frenzy charge is basically for my flicker strike, raider ascendancy, and of course here as well. So that is why this is very, very important. You gotta put it wherever you put the aspect of the cat. And aspect of the cat most likely is on your gloves, because there's no other rare items that you can put socket on other than your gloves. Alright. Okay, enough explaining. And the last one is just a Vortex debuff. It is a very basic instant skill. Vortex Awaken, X Touch, and Frostbite with Bone Chill. Okay, you can use a level 21 Bone Chill. It doesn't really matter. Alright, last but not least, our items. So I am going to explain this very, very carefully. So first up is our weapon. We are going to use the Paradoxica. Okay, for the Paradoxica, the attack speed. Okay, let me just click it in. The attack speed and plus dex and intelligence is mandatory. Okay, I'm afraid to tell you, this is mandatory. It is very important because it doesn't increase our overall attack speed. It increases the base attack speed of our one-handed sword. That's why this is so important and so strong. Okay, the next one is you can either use elemental penetration with attacks or cold damage with a base chance to freeze. It does not really matter. Okay, so please take note of that. But having these two modifiers is really expensive. If you want to just buy the attack speed and dex and intelligence, it is fine as well. It is definitely fine. Okay, so yes, just for the Paradoxica. And next is our Mirror Spike Shield. Basically, this is a dex and in shield. You want to try and get this base. Why? Because you have the 5% chance to suppress spell damage, and with this 5%, you are going to cap your spell suppression. Okay, oh, where is it? Okay, it's here. Right, so just craft resistance, and you need to have this at least 30% chance to avoid elemental ailments. Okay, if you do not have this 30% chance to avoid elemental ailments, you only have 70% total to avoid elemental ailment. So that is why this is needed on the shield. And how to get this mod? This is actually a generic mod from the shield. Just buy a fractured either a dex in shield that has this 5% chance to suppress spell damage, and then of course just spam your essence to get the life and your resistance as well. Okay, and next, our helmet, just go for Heat Shiver. Okay, this is like the best helmet in slot here you can get in terms of DPS. Yes, there is actually downsides to this Heat Shiver, but we can avoid that. So if you cannot inflict elemental ailments to monster, this helmet is basically a blank white helmet. Okay, so please take note of that. You definitely must not do avoid elemental ailment mods. Alright, so yes, this is kind of like the simpler one. Otherwise, if you want an alternative, is replica abysses. Okay, that is the probably next best in slot. Alright, body armor, definitely Pharaoh's Fur. Okay, because we are going to proc aspect of the cat here and there. It has life, it has a lot of armor and evasion, and you have phasing as well. Okay, gloves. This is gonna be our Warlock Hunter Spike Glove with the +1 to maximum frenzy charge. Skill strike, target 1 additional nearby enemies. And of course, please make sure that the base is a Spike Glove so that we have this 20% increased melee damage. Okay, so that is the Grunt level 20 aspect of the cat, like I mentioned, right? I have shown you guys have to craft this wrong. Okay, sorry, I have actually listed down the step-by-step details on how to craft this glove, okay? It is actually in my trade links over here. So if you were to scroll down here, this portion, alright, this entire portion, how to craft the glove, how to craft aspect of the cat, it is written all in here. Okay, please go and have a look at yourself. Don't be scared that you might fail or whatever. You got to try out sometimes to actually learn what you do not know. Okay, please. So yes, this is the glove. You want to make sure that you have empty suffixes to craft aspect of the cat, and of course the last one to bench craft any of the remaining requirements that we need for the build. So for over here, it's just strength intelligence. Okay, Dark Ray Vector Boots. This is the best in slot because it provides +1 to frenzy charge. It gives us lightning resistance as well, and of course evasion rating per frenzy charge. That's why we are so goddamn tanky. Okay, because we have, I think, 9 or 10 power charge. 9. We have 9 power charge. So this boots itself is literally your base. Like here, that shows 65% increased evasion plus 90%. Okay, that is really a lot. Okay, next is Amulet. They are going to use the Yoke of Suffering Onyx Amulet. I feel this is the best in slot here because not only it gives tons of resistance that is problematic for the build, it also gives us 15% increased damage for each type of ailment you are inflicted on them. Okay, so by any means, right, we will always inflict all 3 types of ailment on the monster. Fire damage is because of heat shiver, cold is because our base damage, and elemental damage can shock. You can see there's 8% chance to shock over here. That's why we have 3 types of elemental ailment, and that is why they take 15% increased damage. Right, the rings itself is basically just to cover your resistance and life and attributes. However, you're going to want to spam an essence of horror on this ring, okay? As usual, I have shown how to craft over here. Is below. Please go and read it, and you should craft it in no time. Alright, Flask is just very simple. We will not be using Quicksilver Flask. We're already running so fast. There is really no need to have a Quicksilver Flask, plus you are dashing and flickering all the way. Even more, you don't need it. Okay, so Diamond Flask with Crit, Jade Flask of course for the evasion, Silver Flask for the onslaught and reduce curse effect, and I put in a Amethyst Flask here for more chaos resistance so that we don't get one shot, and of course immunity to bleeding and corrupted blood. Right, last one will be our Bottle Fate for more damage and the increased strike plus consecrated ground. Okay, and the rest of them is basically just the cluster jewel. So there are 2 types of cluster jewel. One is the cold damage cluster jewel. I think this is very universal throughout. Is very commonly used. So Blast Freeze plus Prismatic Heart and Widespread Destruction. Why Widespread Destruction? Because it's going to be at the back and we will not be taking it. Okay, this is the only node that will go to the back, and we do not want to take it so that we can reduce the number of small passive nodes that we take. Right, the other cluster is basically a attack cluster. Right, with Feed the Fury, Fuel the Fight, and Martial Prowess. So Martial Prowess basically just going to give us more attack speed, more damage, accuracy, and damage and ailment from our flicker. And Feed the Fury is basically going to give us more damage again, more attack speed again, and attack damage leech as life. So this is where our life leech is going to be. And the last one is Fuel the Fight, going to give us more attack again, more attack speed again, more damage again, and this is going to be our source of leeching for mana. Right, and the rest is just basically your base jewel. For the sockets, you're just going to have 1 line of maximum life and just any 2 line of crit multiplier. Alright, and last but not least, of course, the intuitive leap that I've shown you over here is on the right side of the tree. We will be taking these 2 nodes so that we do not waste a lot of other nodes, skill points. Alright, and Watcher's Eye, of course, for our base crit strike chance affected by hatred. So this is going to be slightly different. We don't really need a very high roll Watcher's Eye, but just this mod itself is very expensive. So I will guess this is about 10 divine. Okay, 1.4 is enough. 1.5 is the good number to hit. Okay, with 1.4 you can see we don't hit 100% crit, but we are almost 100% crit. Right, okay, so I would like to go through the configuration now. So Bandit is just kill all your major god. There is 2 situations over here, alright. So if you're actually doing a very juice map, I will recommend you to use Brine King because we are not stun immune. If you get hit by something really hard, you'll get stunned and the whole entire pack comes into you. You'll probably die. You are more or less to die, okay? So that's why Brine King for juice map. Otherwise, I think Lunaris is actually good. Alright, either Lunaris or Solaris is good for casual mapping. Okay, for your minor god, go for Yugo, okay, because of the reduced curse effect. Otherwise, you can go for any other things, but when you're actually doing Searing Exarch, please go for Soul of Aberrath. Right, and please take accordingly to whichever that you have seen over here, okay? Technically, all of this also actually counts because it helps with the yoke of suffering, okay? I did not take it because I don't really know exactly how the DPS is calculated, so I just take Chill and Frozen, okay? And the rest of them, just take whichever that you have seen over here. Just remember, do not take both of the aspect of the cat. And last but not least, this is the note section. Please, I hope all of you can read this first before asking me any other questions. I do not wish to repeat whatever that is written over here, okay? And this is the map mods that you should reroll if you actually get it on your map, or you should just try to avoid it. The most painful ones is actually this 4 above. Okay, cannot leech, can reduce effect of non-curse, reflect physical damage, and monsters have chance to avoid elemental ailment. This is the most problematic one. Steel power and frenzy charges, you still can do it, but then it's not going to be very smooth if a lot of monsters actually hit you, because it's 100% that they will steal it. Okay, so some of you might actually ask, why is there a reflect physical damage over here? Okay, it is because of our base damage from Paradoxica. Okay, with this Paradoxica, right, okay, so I actually did not harvest enchant it. So even if I were to harvest enchant it with, let's say, elemental damage, okay, this is because of the quality, okay? The quality is going to improve the DPS, but it does not remove the physical damage over here. So we are still going to scale with attack damage. That is why we are still going to have physical damage, and you cannot do physical reflect maps. Just take note of that. Alright, and last but not least, what to do if you want to upgrade this build further. I would suggest the best thing is to basically change into a headhunter. Okay, because Flicker is more based towards the mapping experience. So mapping experience is definitely the headhunter, right? So this is like the major thing you can change over here. This build is meant for you so that if you buy a headhunter, you do not need to bother about the rest of your requirements like attributes, resistance. They are all basically kept outside of your belt. That is why you can immediately replace the headhunter with it. Okay, like you can see here, it does not affect your attribute or it does not affect your resistance. That is the sole purpose of the belt that I actually have put it under the default section. Okay, it is very simple. So you don't really need to bother about the negative chaos resistance, honestly, because with Headhunter, you're just going to get tons of mods and you'll be very tanky. Alright, do take note of that. So yeah, this is basically the end of my build guide. I hope you guys enjoy, and if you have any other questions, please head over to my Discord to ask me. Okay, that comes to the end of this video. So if you have any questions, do join the Discord and I will try to answer your questions. And if you like my video, do remember to hit the like and subscribe button. I will see you in the next one.